Good morning everyone. So it is a few days after I've been discharged from hospital. I spent 12 days in hospital. I've just spent the last few days recovering, and we had Zoe's party and stuff. Not really recovering, but doing everything that had been missed, like grocery shopping. Well, it hasn't been missed. Eric had only been grabbing a few things as he needed, but that was fine. It worked for him. He had food, and anyway, so I've done a big shop, not a huge one actually. I had we have Woolies everyday rewards extra, and I wanted to use the 10% discount, which I thought was unlimited. I didn't read the terms and conditions though, and it's only up to $500, so it's pretty much our weekly shop. So whenever I spend that, I'm just going to use it from now on. But anyway, so that's about that. And Zoe's birthday was yesterday, so that was pretty full on. I overdid it too. So but Eric is very early in the morning. It's like 4:30 in the morning. Eric has left about an hour and a half ago to go on a business trip. It had been planned for ages. It was quite stressful with me being in hospital. We weren't sure if I would be out for that. But all of a sudden my levels became fine, so I could come home last Friday. So backstory for those who don't know, about 5 or 6 weeks ago, I had really bad pain in my left flank and in my stomach, and I ended up going to emergency, and they told me I had kidney stones, and I had a stent put in. So last Monday, no, it was the Monday before that, a few days after I went into hospital, I was supposed to have my second surgery to remove stent, blast the kidney stones, and to replace the stent for a new stent for another up to 30 days. Anyway, I ended up going into hospital and was admitted. I just had really bad pain, and I just did not feel right this one day. And I was told Eric that I'd be fine, and anyway, he came home from work and insisted I went to the hospital because I literally could not get out of pain again, and it just was unbearable. And I was just like, oh no, I've just overdone it again. But this was like 10 o'clock in the morning, 9:30. I'd only just done school run. So anyway, I went to the hospital. I was booked in, saw triage. Triage sent me straight to get an x-ray and blood work done. I can't remember in what order that was done. X-ray to check on the stent's position, because I was having a lot of pain in that area, and blood work, I don't know, for whatever reasons. And to come back into like the emergency waiting room. So that I went and did that. I came back, and not long after, it was about half an hour, 45 minutes after I did my blood work last, I'm pretty sure. I had like a nurse come out and check my obs, which I'd had before with the kids. After, I think it's several hours that you're there, they have to check you, like your blood pressure and stuff. Anyway, so this guy came out and made me move in front of triage. There was no beds available in emergency. They'd had quite a few ambulances that morning. We had a lot of storms around at the time, and I think we were having like an asthma storm or something. Anyway, resus was all full, and all the beds that they wanted me in were full, I believe. So they made me sit in front of the triage lady. It was kind of embarrassing because they made these people move. Anyway, so every like 15-20 minutes this guy would come out and check my blood pressure. So I stayed in emergency waiting room for about 2.5 hours, and then my name was called, and I was taken to a bed, and I was changed into a gown, and pretty fast I was told that my calcium levels were too high, and I had to go up to the cardiac ward because I needed to be monitored quite closely. and they didn't have anyone there pretty much to do it, I don't think, or it was just, I had to go there anyway. So I moved pretty fast through, I think half an hour absolute max. I was in emergency, like absolute max. I'm pretty sure it was only about 30 minutes, and Eric is adamant that it was around that time too. Not that it matters, but yeah, I moved through emergency like super fast that time. So I went up to, it wasn't intensive care, but it was on the cardiac ward. It was a special section where they literally just watch you all the time. And it wasn't the high, I've been in high density ward as well. It wasn't that either, after I had Olivia, but it was kind of like that. But yeah, anyway, I'm pretty sure it was a similar standard to that, whatever this hospital calls it. I don't even remember. So yeah, I was put there. I think I was there for 24 hours in that room, maybe a little bit longer. So all I knew was my calcium level was high. I didn't Google it because I was in hospital and I just really didn't want to hear about it. I didn't have the energy anyway. Yeah, so I stayed there for a little bit, and then I was moved to a regular ward in that hospital, which there was only 2 beds per room. A lot of hospitals in Australia have 4 beds, I would say, in the hospitals that I've been at, but this ward only had 2 beds per room. I was heart monitored the entire visit. I actually only got my heart monitor off to leave the hospital. So I walked around with a little pack. It took a long time. My magnesium was really low too, so I had a magnesium drip. They weren't the most comfortable drips. Infusion, whatever the heck it's called. They were kind of burning. I'm not like stinging in your arm. So anyway, that wasn't pleasant. I think I had 3 or 4 of those. And then I was put on some meds. I was only allowed this one med because I have allergies to some medicines. So I had this one med that I could take, cinacaltrate. I think that's how you pronounce it. And I could have an injection as well, but they didn't want to do the injection. Anyway, I don't know what reason. And then there was another medicine that you could have, but it meant you couldn't have dental work for like 12 to 24 months or something. This guy said, I swear that's what he said. This is me like not fully functioning either. But anyway, I do remember something about you couldn't have dental work, and I'm like, okay. But I'm on a waiting list to have my wisdom teeth taken out, and he's like, oh, I won't give it to you. Anyway, so moving on over the days, it got really, really draining. Doctors went back and forwards. I had 3 teams looking after me. I had the endocrinologist, the urinologist, and just gen med looking after, overseeing both of them. I think once you have 2 teams, you have to have gen med come in. I don't know what the reason is why gen med came through. Anyway, but one of the doctors through gen med was rude. And one was nice, so they sort of swapped, I noticed. And they just kept changing their story on what was happening, and it was really draining. One of the reasons why I didn't post was because it was just all up and down. One day it was like, oh, you only have to do this and you can go, and then it'll only take 2 days. That was when I first went in. These meds only take 2 days, start working, and then they'll be fine. Well, 3 days went past and my levels actually were higher than what I came in. And then I think it was day 8, they were still higher than what they were when I went in. So then they introduced that injection. I had a really bad reaction to it. I felt like I was, I don't know, I can't even explain it. My whole chest went really tight, and I just felt like paralyzed. It was the weirdest feeling. I can't even, like, yeah, it was the weirdest thing. So it was decided that I couldn't have that anymore. And my heart played up during that time too. So I was back to my just like tablets, and then they were changing all these vitamins and stuff to go with this tablet. They put me on like I was on 6 litres, 5 or 6 litres a day through IV, because that's one of the best ways to flush. Calcium is through IV, but then some nights, a lot of nights actually, for like half an hour. They would put it up to like top speed, and it was the worst. So it'd be around this time that I would get that to boost, I don't know what it was to do. So I would get really low blood pressure overnight. So they would do that, I think, to counteract that. But I'm really not sure. Half the time they wouldn't explain what they're doing. They just kept passing me more meds. And I'd be like, oh, what's this for? And they'd say, and then I was having meds to counteract other meds. And then I started to feel really nauseous. So then I was put on all of this other meds because I was nauseous, probably because I was taking like 15 tablets a day. Or just in the morning. Anyway, so far we haven't got many answers. It can be a few things, and well, one of them they're sure of it. It's just my Pallas something gland is playing up, and they'll need to take one out. So I believe you have 4. I really should probably know this, but as far as I understand, you have 4, and they will take one out. And that will fix the problem. Another thing is you would have thyroid cancer, which is still a possibility. And then there is pretty much that's it. Or an overactive thyroid or something. So they would just take the thyroid out anyway. So my options at the moment are to continue the medicine. I need to have exploratory surgery done into my thyroid. I haven't spoken to a surgeon. The hospital I was at didn't have a surgeon, and they wouldn't move me because the hospital that had it was on a bed block. So I was stuck at the hospital that I was at. So it was really frustrating in itself with everything. And yes, so the major hospital that they wanted me at wouldn't take me because they literally had no beds to give anyone. So that's probably the frustrating thing. I spent 12 days just to get my levels down so I can go as an outpatient in this other hospital. But I still have yet to get dates on an appointment. And yes, it's kind of frustrating. Victoria has a really bad healthcare system at the moment. I'm not sure what other states are like. I'm pretty sure everywhere has bad healthcare system at the moment. But that is pretty much what we're dealing with. Well, I'm dealing with. So I get my levels tested every Monday. I have to actually go today. Today is Tuesday, and get them retested. I'm unsure why. But the doctor called and said I had to go to the outpatient clinic. They usually come to the house, but they can't come today. So I am going to get that done today and see what the heck is going on. They wouldn't give me my levels or anything on the phone. I actually could hardly understand the person that called. So they had a really strong accent, and it was hailing, and I was going through my Bluetooth, and it was just not a great conversation. Anyway, so I have that today, and yeah, see what comes up over time. But thank you everyone for the well wishes, and it was great to read them. I have deleted some as well that weren't so nice. But yes, but that is it for today, guys. Like, subscribe, and comment below. Bye.